Welcome back to my channel. This is Mr. Orchid Charm, and today I am going to share my recent orchid haul trip with you. Look at how many new orchids that I've gotten here. Basically, they are all Phalaenopsis orchids, and these are the new additions to my collection, and obviously I'm running out of space. One very important thing that I'm going to share with you today is what are the tips or the things that I would be looking out for when I purchase Phalaenopsis orchids, or in general any orchids that you have in mind. There are a couple of things that I would always look out for when I purchase orchids, and first of all, let me start off by sharing with you where actually do I go to purchase new orchids. Now in general, these are the places that I would frequent. Very commonly the grocery stores, supermarkets, nurseries, or basically everywhere. But recently I tend to go for nurseries because nurseries is a place where I find that there are more varieties, and also there are more collections, and they are better taken care of for sure. One place that I have not tried actually is the online shopping. So I'm going to give that a shot. Well, basically I am not in favor a lot on online shopping, especially for orchids, because I have very least expectation of what I'm going to get in the shipment, or rather I do not like to take that risk, just to put it that way. But I may give it a try because there are a lot of varieties or species that I cannot find, and I like to add some unique species or hybrids into my collection. So if you have any experience in buying your orchids online and you would like to recommend them to me, feel free to leave comments at the end of the video, and hopefully I'll be able to pick up some interesting orchids. Well, basically I'm looking for Cattleya, Dendrobium, scented Cattleya, that kind of things. That's to add something more interesting to my collection. So please feel free to do that, and I would definitely love to hear from you. Okay, so having said that, let's get on to our topic today, which is what are the things that I would look out for when purchasing orchids. Now, the first thing that I would always look for, of course, is the bloom, right? I mean, come on, we go for the flowers, right? So usually I will have something that I feel that I want to have in my collection. For example, this kind of hybrid. Just an example. So after finding the species or the hybrids or the kind of blooms that you want, the next thing would be the leaves. So let me just bring this guy here. First of all, the leaves have to be greenish, has to be shiny, glossy like this guy here. They must be firm, and there is no spots. You can just flip at the bottom side and inspect them. Make sure that they are not droopy, they are firm, they are not kind of dehydrated. Okay, so that would be the first thing that I would look for. And the next thing is I'm going to look out for the roots. Okay, so let me just bring out this guy here. Ta-da, here you go. She's a very beautiful Phalaenopsis. And the next thing that I would look for are the roots. Okay, so look at the roots. Now, you want to avoid a plant that have roots like that, which is dry, papery. These are the dead roots, okay? And these are good roots. Look at these, they are very firm, and they are greenish as well at the touch. And also pull them out from the decorative vase if there is any. If not, if they're in this plastic container, then it will be so easy for us just to quickly browse through the outside of the container and look at the roots and see that, to make sure that they are green, they are luscious, there is no black spots in there, because that shows that they are rotting if there is anything like that, and you want to avoid that. If there's any aerial roots, check that they are not dried up and they're not papery, and that would be the thing that I would look out for. So the third thing that I would go for would be the media. So the media is very easy to look at. Now, most of these Phalaenopsis orchids or any orchids that you purchase always come in sphagnum moss. Okay, so they are packed in sphagnum moss, and of course, as you all know, for commercial purpose, sphagnum moss actually is the easiest medium for them to maintain the plants. So look at the media to make sure there is no serious breaking down, and that can be actually inspected by spotting if there is anything that's darkish, brownish in color. It shows that the medium has already started to break down. Like for example this one, and I can see on top here, I'm not sure you can see in the camera, the medium actually is already a little bit broken down as what I would have seen when I first purchased it, because I kept on watering the plant and fertilizing the plant, so the organic media is started to decompose, and sometimes it will affect the roots. Sometimes you may not be able to see them, and they may start from inside, which we don't know if you don't repot them, but at least when you are doing the purchase, you can actually inspect first to prevent the worst from happening. So in this case, let me just recap it very quickly. So the first thing I'll go for would be the leaves, and then look at the roots, and then look at the media. Okay, pull them out from the decorative vase if there's any, or if they're in the plastic container, then just quickly browse through them to make sure that they are not decomposed. The next thing that I would look out for basically is the first thing that I'm looking out for, which is the bloom. But there are certain things that I would look out for as well. Not just the blooms, not just the kind of species, the kind of structure, or the kind of hybrids that I'm looking for. But when I get serious about buying a particular orchid, other than the first impression of the flowers itself, of the blooms itself, and then the leaves, the roots, the media, the last thing I would want to look out for will be whether there's any buds or not. This is a perfect example of the buds that I have been talking about that's not in full bloom yet. Look at this little yellow Phalaenopsis here, and there's still a lot of buds that's not opened up still. So, and I purposely actually purchased her because I want to enjoy longer and more blooms when I bring her home. So not only you can look at the beautiful blooms, the process of the buds opening up, I think it's always such an enjoyable process to watch them grow from buds to full blooms. So that's something that probably you can consider as well the next time when you intend to purchase a new orchid. So what's next? After we have made our choices, consider all the factors that we talked about, and paid the money, we are ready to bring them home. What's next? Well, of course, the next thing that follows will be the care that you have to give to the Phalaenopsis. But first of all, where are we going to put them? Now, you're going to place them in your house or somewhere that is not under direct sunlight. As we all know, Phalaenopsis orchids or any orchids, they may not want to be exposed to direct heat or direct sunlight. So you can, put them on a windowsill, or shielded by curtains, just so that they receive indirect sunlight, and yet they are not kept in the dark or in the dark corners, because they still prefer to have some lights, to receive some lights as well. So that would be the first thing I would do. And of course the next thing is humidity. So we all know that Phalaenopsis orchids, they enjoy a lot of humidity because these are tropical plants. So if your area is lacking, good humidity, you can always thinking of putting them near to the kitchen, because that's where a lot of humidity and moistures, and bathroom as well. Otherwise, I would think of creating some humidity trace myself by putting some small plates underneath, for example, the plant here, and put some water and make sure that your interior container here is not directly in touch with the decorative part. Now usually there is a drainage hole in there. Just spray some water droplets on the pot or inside the pot, and then let it sit in there and to create a kind of a humidity layer for the plants. And of course the other thing that these orchids do not enjoy is extreme drafts or winds or heat, for example. So try to avoid placing them near directly under the ACs or heaters or any of that sort. Okay, so, and of course the other thing is do not over water the plants. Usually what I would do is I would actually fill the media. So if the media is dry, okay, and as well as the bottom here, if I touch it and it's kind of a dry, I would then water the plant. But at the same time, make sure that they are not bone dry and not receiving any water at all. And of course, the next thing is you have to fertilize the plants. When there are full blooms, I don't think you need to fertilize them very frequently. Maybe just cutting down half of the frequency of what you would normally do when they're in the growth season. And of course, you need to spend some time inspecting the plants and to show them that you care for them. Now, you do not have to look at them 24/7, but at least like what I would do is every morning, go to them, I would just quickly glance through them, look at them and see what is going on, because a lot of the time by just inspecting them, but by just looking at the blooms, especially looking at the leaves, it will tell you a lot of things that's going on, whether it's being dried up or whether there is some fungus infection. And I bet you your plants will be very happy and they will reward you with many new blossoms and new blooms when it comes to that season. So that is all I have to share with you today, and I hope you find my video informative. If you have not subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so, and also leave me comments, see where I can do better. Once again, I hope you liked the video, and until then I will see you guys again. Bye.